Everyone. I promised that I would come back on here and read from a book that a good friend of mine gave me. It's called Forgiving What You Can't Forget because, it's no secret that I struggle with forgiveness and with letting the past go, like really bad. I'm still very unhappy about what's happened. You know what I mean? Even after all these years. So I'm hoping and praying that this book will not only help me, but it'll help other people struggling with the same thing. It's called, like I said, it's called Forgiving What You Can't Forget. Introduction. I still cry over what happened. Oh, yeah, and I'll probably stop along the way to just give my own opinions or tell more of my story, just so you know. FYI. Let's see. I still cry over what happened. Do you ever find yourself defining life by before and after the deep hurt, the horrific season, the conversation that stunned you, the shocking day of discovery, the stunning call about the accident, the divorce, the suicide, the death so unfathomable you still can't believe they are gone, the malpractice, the breakup, the day your friend walked away, the hateful conversation, the remark that seems to now be branded on your soul, the taking of something that should have been yours, the brutality unleashed on the one you love, the email you weren't supposed to see, the manipulation, the violation, the false accusation, the theft, the fire, the firing, the day everything changed. That marked moment in time. And yes, absolutely, I do define my life that way. I mean, yeah, like the day, like I said, the day I found out that my kid's dad was cheating on me. And it was so messed up too because, his family, they were in on it too. They knew all along. In fact, my ex-brother in law, his brother actually caught him in the act with the other woman. And then they're going to bring me into their house because I didn't live very far from them, which, by the way, was a mistake to live that close to in laws. But they actually had the audacity to bring me to their house, to their living room, and his brother gonna sit there and say, oh, well, maybe it's nothing, maybe it's something, I don't think he's smart enough to cheat on you. And that's him and his wife already knowing all along that that's what he was doing. But they're gonna sit me down and tell me, I don't think he's smart enough to cheat. So let's wait for him to get off work or to get from wherever it was, he was at the time. And then when he did get there, he promptly said, oh yes, I was cheating on you, and by the way, it's your fault. Which is funny too, because in the beginning, of our relationship, which should have never happened, and don't get me wrong, I'm very grateful for my kids. I love my kids so much. But I mean, just in the beginning though, people were telling me, you can do way better than him. There's obviously something wrong with him. He shows up on your first date dressed like a bum, looking filthy, dirty clothes, just not even looking right. And they straight up said, you can do better. If you decide you're going to stick with this guy, you're going to regret it. He's going to do you dirty. And silly me didn't believe them. And I also went ahead and told him what they had said. And he had the audacity to get angry. And then what did he do all along? Made sure to betray me and then told me it was all my fault. But in the beginning of our relationship, it was eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. That was his motto up until he was caught cheating on me. Then all of a sudden it's Deborah's fault. Well, that being said, let's continue reading this book. Like your own personal BC and AD, which usually means before Christ, and Anno Domini. Anno Domini is Latin. People say it's after death, but it really stands for Anno Domini. This dating was intended to indicate a turning point in history, the birth, life, death, and resurrection of Christ. When we have personal marked moments in our own history, it can feel like before crisis and after devastation. Ain't that the truth? Oh, man. Spot on with that. It's a line in time, one that's so sharply drawn across your reality. It not only divides your life, it splits open your memory bank and defiles it. Pictures of the past are some of our most priceless treasures until they become painful reminders of what no longer is. And when your phone randomly sends those memory movies of what happened on this same day 4 years ago, it stops you from breathing. Like before, life now. Is it even possible to move on from something like this? Is it even possible to create a life that's beautiful again? Some part of what you loved about your life exploded in that moment and marked you with this unwanted reference point of before and after. Grief is devastating no matter how it comes. But when there's a person or struck the match, igniting the grief, it's only natural to clench your jaw when you think of what happened. Yeah. And I feel like it's one of those things where you kind of have to sit with that feeling. It is uncomfortable. Like just reading this right now, it gives me tightness in my chest. It makes my stomach hurt. But I feel like I have to sit with it in order to heal from it. Can't push it under the rug, can't pretend it's not there. I mean, that's not realistic and that's not good. Burying one's feelings is probably one of the worst things you can do. So, yep, just saying. And maybe it seems like you think of what happened all the time, or at least so much of the time you wonder if you'll ever stop having that deep aching off kilter feeling, that throbbing heartbreak bubbling with an equal mix of anxiety, unanswered questions, and suspicion that really no one in the world is truly safe anymore. People are all around you at work, in the coffee shop, at your kids' school, and even at church, just trying to live their lives, completely unaware that at any moment there could be a triggered memory so painful you'll feel as though the world has no more oxygen to breathe. But you were the only one affected. You're gasping, sweating, and being asked to please get on with it or get out of everyone's way. Yeah, that is true too. Yeah. All you can do is stare at the pictures that just popped up, taken just before everything changed, desperate to go back to that moment and warn your former self to redirect, change course, avoid, escape, turn, and maybe this wouldn't have ever happened. Now, see, that's another thing. Like they say, the what ifs will kill you. You know, that's one thing you cannot dwell on is, oh, what if I had done this differently? What if this? What if that? Yeah, that's another thing that will bury you, like seriously. And I know that a lot of us do get, have that mentality and do feel that way, but it's not productive in terms of, trying to heal from it. You know what I mean? Then surely you wouldn't be here in the mess of the aftershock and fallout, grief and panic, feeling as fragile as the tiniest twig, but as stuck in this place as 100-year-old stump. I understand all of that. Like you, I wish I didn't have such an intimate understanding of those feelings, but I do. If you read my last book, It's Not Supposed to Be This Way, you know of the shattering discovery of my husband's affair and the long road of uncertainty I was still walking at the end of that book. The 4 years of hellish heartbreak that followed the discovery did eventually take an unexpected turn toward reconciliation. Yeah, see, that didn't happen with me. Maybe I should be reading that book. But yeah, there was no reconciliation. He stepped out on me 3 times. And I was the foolish one to keep wanting to go back, because heaven forfend I should be single in a society that values relationships no matter how abusive they are or how toxic they are. Oh, you better be with somebody, otherwise you're a loser. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was just, yeah. He was not good at all. I mean, I did everything I could to help this dude only to be stabbed in the back. And like I said, that time when he came to my mom's house to pick up the kids to take them away for summer break after having not seen them for 3 whole years, blamed me for the whole thing, said, oh, it was because of Deborah I didn't see the kids. So he couldn't send a birthday card, no Christmas card, no birthday presents, like nothing, not even as much as a phone call. And then all of a sudden he's able to come out of nowhere and swoop up the kids. And like I said, talking crazy to me on my own mom's property is a whole new kind of wild after all the things him and his family did to me. Not to mention, his father being a staunch atheist and racist and just, other things, I won't mention on here. But yeah, just insane. Ugh. Let's see. I'm grateful, but I have not been spared the slow and grueling work of finding my way again after experiencing something that forever marked my life. I cried again today. It wasn't because something is wrong in my marriage. Restoration is a gift for which I'm so very thankful. But that's not what this book is about. It's about figuring out what to do when you can't forget what happened. And forgiveness feels like a dirty word. Yeah, it does. I just want to just growl and roar like, oh, I don't need to forgive them. Look at all the things they did to me. I don't need to do that. They don't deserve my forgiveness, But that's also the wrong way to look at things. So I'll raise my hand here. That's why I cried today. If you relate to this, then you know how awful it is to define one's life with the words before and after. And if no one else in this world has been kind enough to say this, I will. I'm so sorry for all that's happened to you. And yes, I am. I'm sorry for all the things that have happened to you guys. We've all gone through stuff, and I'm so very, very sorry it happened to you. And yes, people have told me that many, many times. There's a lot of people that can relate to how I feel. A lot of people who have been through the same things. And it's weird, though, too, for me, just the thought of reconciling again with somebody who's done that to you. Now, see, the thing about me back then was I had no value, no self-worth, and didn't want to raise my kids alone. And lo and behold, I ended up having to raise them alone anyways. Yeah, that's not the kind of person I am now. You know what I mean? And I think that, like I said, that's one of the things men walk all over. It's like, oh, well, it's good to be in a relationship, even if the dude is horrible and treats me like dirt. Yeah, no, that's a horrible way to see things. And if anybody out there right now is watching this and feels that way, you'll definitely be in my prayers. I'm not even joking. Like for real. Whether this was an event or a collection of hurt that built over time because someone wasn't who they were supposed to be, didn't do what they were supposed to do, or didn't protect you like they should have protected you, your heartbreak deserves a safe place to be processed. Whoever they are in your history, their actions hurt you, took from you, and set off a chain of events still greatly affecting you. And that was wrong. And, me, like I said, and I'm very open and honest about this. Oh, geez, my hand's getting numb. Ouch. I'm very open and honest about the fact that I was very, very miserable after that happened, after it was all said and done. And I was single, raising, these 2 kids on my own. I literally went out of my way to make other people miserable. All because I was. And that's also very wrong. And for that, I'm very sorry for. Like, big time. And like they say, heal and move on. And don't ever become like the person who hurt you. Well, for me, that ship has sailed. So now all I can do is pray for forgiveness, ask people for forgiveness, and just continue to move forward. And to not make mistakes like that again. So this isn't a judgment against them. I don't know all the facts of what happened. And I'm not qualified to be their judge, but I can be a witness for your pain. Your pain is real, and so is mine. So if no one has acknowledged this with you, I will. But friend, can I whisper something I'm learning? Staying here, blaming them, and forever defining your life by what they did will only increase the pain. Keep projecting out to others. Yes, 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 yes. I can attest to that because, yeah, I've done a lot of projecting, like big time. I've personalized a lot of things, and I'm working on it. I'm getting better about it, but the fact remains it's something that I have done. So, and it's not good. The more our pain consumes us, the more it will control us. And sadly, it's those who least deserve to be hurt whom our unresolved pain will hurt the most. That person or people, they've caused enough pain for you, for me, and for those around us. There's been enough damage done. They've taken enough. You don't have to hand over what was precious and priceless to you and deem all the memories as hurtful. You get to decide how you'll move forward. A few years ago, when my marriage imploded, I didn't think I had a say so in keeping memories that were precious to me. I thought my marriage was over, therefore, my life had to be edited, both going forward and backward. I went through the entire house and removed all pictures of us. I packed up some of my most favorite mementos. I tried to untangle my life from anything that reminded me of what once was because I didn't know what else to do. But completely sterilizing my life from the physical presence of reminders didn't remove the pain. You can't edit reality to try and force healing. You can't fake yourself into being okay with what happened. But you can decide that the one who hurt you doesn't get to decide what you do with your memories. Your life can be a graceful combination of beautiful and painful. You don't have to put either definitive label on what once was. It can be both and. Maybe that's part of what's hard about moving on, the letting go. Okay, I'm not gonna finish this page. I'll finish it another time because I have laundry to do and other stuff. I hope that this has helped those of you who are struggling with the same thing I am. Yes, I'll talk to you all another time. Have a wonderful day. Bye. Mm-hmm.